The big picture with respect to Fayette's laws and spinal mechanics of the cervical spine is that, in essence, there is rotation in side bending. As it pertains to the cervical spine, cervical vertebrae 2 to cervical vertebrae 7, Fayette's law states that in a neutral position, side bending to one side, for example, side bending to the right side, is accompanied by rotation to that same side. So that means that when you are in neutral position without flexion or extension and you side bend to your right, the cervical vertebrae will rotate in this direction, what we call right rotation. You can feel this in your own body when you put your fingers on the lateral side of your neck. Place your finger pads on the lateral sides of your neck and sink in until you feel that hard, bony articulation. That is your transverse process. And then slightly bring your fingers posterior to the transverse process. In this example, I'm going to bring my finger pads to the posterior part of the transverse process on my right side. And now I'm going to side bend, slowly bringing my right ear towards my right shoulder. With your fingers on the posterior part of your transverse process and side bending to the right, that vertebra will rotate to the right, pushing up against your right hand finger pads. One important thing to note here is that I will be describing vertebral movement in two different ways. The first way is how I've already started to speak. Using this prop here, you can see the transverse processes and the spinous process. When using the previous example of side bending to the right, there is a right rotation, like so. So that is one way that I'll be describing vertebral movement. The other way is by calling it clockwise or counterclockwise or anti-clockwise movement. In this same example, as I side bend to my right, then the vertebra moves in a clockwise manner. We describe clockwise or anti-clockwise as it moves from the superior view along the vertical axis, which is the spinal column. To recap, under the laws of spinal mechanics, when I side bend to my left, there is a left or a counterclockwise rotation. When I side bend to my right, there is a right or clockwise rotation.